Doing well. I'll start off by saying, I've looked through these a few times, and Betsy and I talked the other day about them. That this is like we think by far your like best work and kind of like most exciting stuff that you've done and most interesting stuff that you've done. We really enjoyed it. Enjoy like all of it, and really enjoy that you're kind of like pushing. It honestly it feels like you tried the most here. It feels like you worked the hardest here. You went out and you explored, and maybe this is like really where your photography kind of like your niche kind of can begin, or you can kind of find your voice within all of this stuff. And just with all that stuff being said, I'd kind of encourage you to look into some of the older photographers that aren't around anymore, like Gary Winogrand, who's like huge New York photographer, like street photography, photographed a lot of people though, and he did storefronts and that kind of thing too. And then Walker Evans is another person. He didn't do New York as much, but he did all around the kind of the East Coast, the Southeast. He did Cuba. I think he did some of the West as well, but did signage and did things like that. Like those kind of people, I'd look at for kind of like encouragement. Steve McCurry has also done some stuff in New York that's interesting now and again. And there's a number of Andre Cortesh was a French photographer that moved to New York that photographed there as well that made some amazing work. But yeah, like what you're like nipping at here, I think is great. Yeah, and just like opening up too, like this with this first photograph is the right way. I mean, obviously we know it's New York, but the neon sign is very much New York. And just this perspective of being this really close, it's gross, man. Like I wouldn't want to see this billboard. It's too close for me. I don't like teeth and seeing that stuff and being up close to that kind of stuff. So it's really gross. And just knowing that's like in a subway, it gives you a different sense, a different smell, a feel. I hear it, I feel it, I sense, even though there's not people here, I know that these are usually crowded spaces. So I start to feel like a sense of a little bit of claustrophobia for me. Like I enjoy the energy of New York, or of like bigger cities, but at the same time I hate it. I really enjoy more nature and being out in big open expanses, those kind of things. But yeah, good photo. Those are good too. I really like your depth of field here, where you're pointing us to. Your details are great, and falling off. It's a part of New York's big bike city. People move around. People are moving things around. Delivery people, etc. So it's very telling and very informative at the same time. This is dude, like your vision are great through all of these. Like your detail is good. I love that this guy's hands are just moving here and moving this, and they're slightly like out of not quite as sharp because they're motion, so it really works. And I like that it's just that detail that you're not step back and you don't show all of it. It would have a different feel to it. So like that's solid. I really like that. And this is visually this is awesome. The quality of light is beautiful. And yeah, it's I could just talk about just how it moves and yeah, I feel like you really worked at this project more than you did the other ones. Not to knock anything you did at the other ones, but I feel like you really tried and you thought harder, or maybe you just had more time invested in this to put into it. But it really shows. I can't keep saying that enough. Like these were really solid. Um, with some of these, like I love the arrow kind of pointing in this direction. With some of these, like I would encourage you maybe to go like just straight on with them. Like I'd want to see like just this dead on square because there's so much interesting things happening with these textures and these letters, and then you can play with these words. Like where do you crop them off? Does this word machine mean anything? Does it not? Machine 2014. If that was the only thing in there with this kind of design in the middle, does it make your viewer think of things beyond just this scene? Uh, so it kind of takes it out of context and what's going on over here. Yeah, I would encourage you to do those kind of things a little bit now and again, but it still works, really well. Yeah. Same thing here. It's maybe line up. I see like you have the vantage or like these lines kind of leading you this way. For me, like look at the Walker Evans stuff, his photographs. Of like billboards and like there's something about them being straight on sometimes that you can just really appreciate the detail within them. Where it gets a little bit hard to when they're like at an angle, like leading away like that. It means a little something different. So nice too. It doesn't work quite as well. It works though. I want to know what the hell's going on. Why are there so many balloons? So like maybe like if you add just a tiny hint of a detail, maybe just a tiny hand, or if there's a top of someone's head, or a little sign or anything like that. But I like that you're looking up, you're looking down, you're looking kind of like you're looking all around. Um, Again, more storefronts. That's awesome. Eugene Agier would be someone else I would encourage you to look at, who did the photographs, everything in Paris, and a lot of his storefronts were awesome. Yeah, it was really nice vision. I see like what you're looking at here. Looking through the hand, it's great composition, and you're thinking through the scene. You're photographing more than the scene, more than just your initial what you saw. It looks like you're looking deeper or past it. That's awesome too. Looking up again, yeah, great detail. These are all interesting. Some of these, they all work in their own way. This one is interesting, maybe not as much as the other ones. It is beautiful. Have these in the background. Visually, it's really solid and really interesting. Um, I kind of like this one here from the outside rather than this one from the inside, or maybe one or the other one. Probably not both of them in like a series if I were to show them, but both of them work. This one's okay. Let me see airs. So obviously it's Nike and it's like a Nike thing, but yeah, this is beautiful. It's really nicely composed, like really beautifully composed, and the lighting is great. Your exposure is really great with this background, this old background. These kind of like it's almost like an art installation. So it's actually a really cool idea. It's nice also. Again, I like that you're looking up, looking around. Yeah, yeah, solid. I love that your hands in here too, and it's like a nice way to end. It's like for like the end of a project, the end of a class. It's kind of like a nice way to see you again, or like a appreciation, a good luck, a goodbye, or a thank you kind of in a way from me to you. Yeah, again, great work, really solid. I think it's the best stuff that you've done by far. And yeah, keep shooting in New York, man. Get out there and keep doing this kind of thing. Yeah, and if you have any questions in the future, feel free to email me. And yeah, I hope to see what you do. And good luck.